Keepers nervous, strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
Hello there, Chelsea fans, football fans everywhere, and Nigerian fans all over the world. In today's Chelsea, versus Leicester game, 1-0, goal scored by Cucurella. So happy days. You take the goal and you go and you keep it at Stamford Bridge. 3 points, moved into fourth spot. 2 points ahead of Manchester City. So isn't the worst result in the world, but the first half performance was one of the worst I've ever seen. Unfortunately, Cole Palmer's struggles continued into this game, and then he missed that penalty. Rather giving credit to the goalkeeper, he saved the penalty, but I think Cole Palmer could have and should have taken that penalty a lot better, in my opinion. So, but like I said with Cole Palmer, he needs to be taken off sometimes and allowed to rest, and let his brain reactivate, so he can refresh, have a look at things, see how things are going, and then in that less pressure situation, he can regain his confidence and then come on the pitch sometimes in the second half and then easily ease himself back, because I think his confidence is taking a serious dip. But fair play to everyone. I think towards the end it was a bit of a dogfight. It was a bit of hanging on from Chelsea's perspective. It was a bit of, we saw Pedro Neto, we saw Jadon Sancho trying to, force corners and force throw-ins just to kill the time on the clock. So for me, I don't have any problem with that, because toward this time of the season, performances are very important. But even more important, are the results. More important, the results you get at the end of the day. So it seemed like it would be one of those games where probably Chelsea would, struggle, huff and puff to a draw, or even worst case scenario, Leicester could, come from behind and score and just get a goal that no one would have been expecting them to get. So when Cole Palmer missed that penalty, I was like, what's going to happen? Is it going to be, one of those sorry days at Stamford Bridge? So first half wasn't that great. Tosin, I'll give credit to Tosin. It was good. I think it was fairly decent as a defender and centre back there. But the starting lineup, I had my issues with the starting lineup. I don't know what Chelsea fans think out there. For me, going with this 3 at the back thing, I struggle to see the benefits. I would rather go with a flat back 4 and then have 2 10s or 2 8s, however you call it, to be in the midfield, as opposed to having three centre backs. Therefore, by killing the width that you could have, with having actual fullbacks. So for me, Jadon Sancho today, it was pretty decent, not fantastic, or pretty decent, holding the ball, getting past his man each time he had the ball, but really didn't. He was fouled for the penalty, so I'll give him kudos for that one, because he had to force the defender into that error. And like I said before, Cole Palmer missed the penalty. But before the Cole Palmer miss, there was the penalty incident that was clear. For me, clear as day, even clearer than the second one that was given, because the Leicester City player, the Leicester City defender, made no attempt. I think Thomas made no attempt to tackle the ball. He just went clumsily, smashed into the back of Cole Palmer, and that should have been a penalty. I know some people argue, oh, but you were given a penalty and you missed it. For me, I don't care. If you have 500 penalties in a game, and by the letter of the law, there are penalties, they should be given as penalties. There's no excuse, in my opinion, not to give a penalty when it is, a penalty. And then going on to other players on the pitch, Nkunku was okay. Wasn't that great, in my opinion, but he was okay. Was okay in the game. I think he came into the game a bit more when Palmer was taken off. I think when Palmer came on, he then dropped into that 10 or attacking midfield position behind the false 9 in Pedro Neto. I think Pedro Neto put in a decent shift, though he didn't score. He put in a decent shift with his press set, how he moved, tried to affect the play even on and off the ball. So I think he was pretty decent, but you could see you still have that lack of there's still the lack of a clinical finisher. He had about 10 shots in the first half, in the first half, but still couldn't get the goal. And Cucurella got the goal in the second half. A nice tidy finish from the edge of the box, just a little bit from the edge of the box. A nice finish, tidy finish. So for me, I give him kudos for that. That was a good play. He got the goal. Happy days. And then, so from a Nigerian perspective, I'll say this: Tyrique George, a Nigerian eligible youngster, got a couple of minutes off the bench. I think was it up to 20 minutes or thereabout. He came off the bench, and I think he was pretty decent. I think he, alongside Neto, were about the only people that were really, really pressing. They were really, really pressing. And then I don't know, for Leicester City, you've gone the goal down. I know you want to attack, but the way they wanted to pass out the ball in dangerous spots, things they weren't doing when they were, when it was all square, there was attempt to pass the ball out from the back. I couldn't quite get it. I know Chelsea dropped a few meters back into their own half. Like I said, for the first time, I saw a Chelsea team under Maresca, anyways, trying to sit back and hit on the break for the first time. Even the Brighton game that Chelsea won 4-2 and hit Brighton on the counter attack, I didn't see the team drop deep that much. But in this game, especially with 10 minutes to go, they dropped deep, really deep. For me, there are two ways to look at it. You could say playing against Leicester City at Stamford Bridge at home, you shouldn't be dropping deep. You should be on the ball. You should be controlling the game. You should be imposing your will from the first minute to the 96th minute. I think they gave 6 minutes at a time in this game. But there's another way to look at it. Show strength of character, show grit, make yourself difficult to beat. You've got the goal. All you're looking for is to get into the top four spots. And end of the day, result got, you got one, you've got the victory, you've got the 3 points, you're in top four, so nothing else matters. And for me at this point, is just to get into that top four, get into Champions League places, and that will be it for me. So wonder what your thoughts were about the Chelsea performance overall. For me, I didn't think it was that great. The second half was a bit better, but it wasn't that great at all. And what do you think about Cole Palmer? What do you think about his confidence? Do you think he should be dropped and then brought in the second half of the next game, or he just goes again? And I want to say this: for me, I was happy that at some point Enzo Maresca took him out, because sometimes you see a player, he's your best player, he's your most important player, but you see him struggling, you should take him out, let him rest. Because we've seen people like Lampard in those days dropped, we've seen Ballack dropped, we've seen DJ Drogba substituted. So substituting a player doesn't mean the player suddenly has become a bad player, So hopefully from the upcoming games, he gets to regain his form. So for me, this is how I saw the game. I wonder what your thoughts are on the game. So at this point, I've come to the end of this video. But before I go, I'd like to say, keep your eyes peeled. There'll be a show that'll be featuring top footballing legends that I'll be talking about on this channel, and I'll also be talking about one of Chelsea's great midfield legends, and I'll be reacting to some of his video clips. So at this point, I want to say, do have a splendid rest of your day. Stay well and stay blessed.